Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. Welcome back to Train Simulator. So I've got lots of options here. I'm trying to just get through the official scenarios that come with a lot of things and just kind of poke around, see what I feel like. So I decided to return to the Chicago route here, Aurora to Chicago, the racetrack. You can see I've done one scenario here, the All Stops to Aurora Part 1. I think I'm going to jump in here to All Stops to Aurora Part 2. Looks like this is going to be a bit challenging. I'm thinking some of that is simply the fact that there's probably a lot of speed changes and the fact that the timetables are pretty tough. Having lived in this area before and used the local Metro service within Chicago, I know how those trains operate. But let's get going. Your loading and unloading of commuters here at Hinsdale is complete, and you are clear to proceed to the next stop at West Hinsdale. Get ourselves, going there. So let's get moving. Need to be there at 14:17, and as you can see, we're already late. Some of that was me just making sure we were ready and getting going. So, I think in the winter might have something to do with this too. But we can get up to 70, and that's sometimes the biggest challenge, is these trains moving. So we're not going that far, so I do have to be careful. So we're going to be a little bit later than we'd like, but wipers are going pretty quickly. Alright, so we're going to get the train slowing down here. It's usually pretty good at slowing down, so I'm not too terribly worried, but we'll go in a little faster. Should be okay here. But getting onto the platform, make sure we get that last car on. Alright, so we are on, and we are ready to go. So we'll see. Right now, we have no points, so I assume we'll get them as we go. So I'm going to free this up here. Alright, next is Clarendon Hills. So 0.44 miles, so you can see we've got a lot of stops very quickly together. Again, I'm 20 seconds behind or so we're going to do what we can to try to make up some time maybe, but this might be a bad idea. Because then we're going to be making quick stops, and then we're going to have just unhappy people, because we're going to really slow down quickly. But we're a few seconds late, but not terribly, so hopefully we'll have a little bit of opportunity to catch up later. Alright, so we're about 20 seconds behind. Now it's said, I think, that we only have 9 stops. Yeah, we don't have that many. So, interesting. But some of them must be longer. Maybe the last part of the line or something is going to drop down. So we'll let this out so we can get going right away. Doors are closed. Next stop, Westmont. So I just keep like losing time, and I think if I get beyond a minute, I'm gonna have some difficulty. But here we've got 1.2 miles, so we might be able here to really move along. You know, the problem is I'd have to exceed 70, I think, to be able to make up some time here. Alright, looks like we've gotten a little bit closer, though. We're 15:21:38, so... this along, see if we can make up a little bit. I've got to be careful though, because I've got a lot happening here as far as distance and speed. That looks really spooky, like something's there, but I think we're clear. I could be wrong. I guess we'll find out if I'm wrong. Oh, we can only go 65 in the next segment. Start slowing down, because again, we are flying in here at this point. So, hoping we'll be okay. I don't want to lock the brakes up, but we are moving along here, I'll tell you that. Wow. So I definitely pushed that quite a ways, but I think we're going to be okay here. Alright, so we're basically almost on time again. So I'm going to lower the brakes down a bit. That might help. But we got in, I think, at 25, and our ETA was exactly that. So if I can stay on track, I should be in pretty good shape. It's just, you know, I don't want to roll or do any of those things early. Alright, Fairview is next. Took a little bit longer again. I don't want to spin the wheels. I don't know that I've ever seen a Metra do that, and they do definitely take off pretty quickly. So I'm thinking they've got some pretty good traction. So it looks like we're gonna only be able to go 65 on another route. Alright, we're within about 3 seconds, so... And once again, I've been coming in a little fast each time, so that's alright. Again, let ourselves coast a bit here. And I assume then we'll be in decent shape. So we've got a good distance here, but we've got 0.15 miles. Bigger platform, it seems. 'Cause, yeah, we've got most of the train on. Can hear the crossing gates going. That's always a sound you get pretty used to as a Metra commuter. Alright, that was a couple seconds later. So this gets us down there, so we're just on the 4th stop. So definitely a lot to move through. It's a longer stop here. Almost seems like double the length of what we've had at other places. So release, but I want to be careful. Alright, Downers Grove. Alright, somehow we are 30 seconds back, but we are making up. Alright, now we're ahead of schedule. So I do have to be careful with that too, because I assume if I get too far ahead of schedule, I potentially have a problem. So, and again, we're not going that far. I don't know that I'll be in danger of going too fast. But yeah, we're about 10 seconds early here. We can still go a little bit further. Otherwise, I think we're struggling for sure. Alright, let's start hitting the brakes. Don't want to get out of that green circle. Alright, we'll up the brakes a bit. Thinking we'll still be okay here. Looks like we'll be good. So far, so good. But you can start to see, I think, a little bit about what the challenge is. So yeah, it was about 20 seconds early, which typically will mean it's going to just have me stand here. There we go, another train going by. That's also pretty common. So the center track tends to be the express. See the signal change to red up there. So assuming we're going to have to sit here till 14:27. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, you can start to see the difficulty a bit in that things are pretty tight on the timetable. So there's really... Alright, highball, I assume, 1.5 miles. That's not that far. I'm like, highball might mean just go fast. Ooh, a freight coming through. I guess at night like this, you might, although this is kind of mid-afternoon. It's just winter, so it looks dark. So 65, but we're going to hit a 70-mile-an-hour corridor at some point. Right now we're about a little under 10 seconds from where we need to be. I assume we're going to stay on this track. That would be a really fast switch, but sometimes those metro trains do that as well, so it's hard to say. Once the train gets past here, we'll be able to go 70, but I think we're good. We'll just keep cruising along here within 5 seconds now, but still just barely under a mile. But you can see the challenge here is because it's a commuter route in a major city, like there's an expectation that you're going to be on time and you're going to be moving along. So, alright, we're going faster, so I'm going to start slowing down, because we are going 60, and we're half a mile out. I can always slow down a bit if I need to, you know, let the brakes go a bit. Alright. So yeah, I think we're going to let this cruise a little bit, because I don't want to stop too fast. There we go. Now we should be pretty good, I would hope. Of course, now it's lying to me. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, juicing the brakes. That was not quite how I wanted it to play out. Hopefully we won't end up off the platform. I think we're all right. Just barely. Wow. Yeah, that actually didn't quite work as nicely as I would have liked. So I'll have to be more careful next time. But yeah, the trains run well on time, but yeah, it's got to be a pretty challenging job to run one of these, because, you know, you're only stopping for a minute, maybe two, and you're really trying to get people to work and, you know, get people home. And that, you know, a day like this is exactly why people love using the public transport, though, because you don't want to drive in this. Chicago traffic is bad enough as it is, and certainly it does not help on a day like this with crazy weather. So hopefully nothing surprising, just a bunch of challenging timetables is all we've got here. But yeah, the shaking and the moving back and forth, that's definitely part of the journey. So I know sometimes going the other way, the conductors are in a different part of the train. They're kind of up on the second floor. It's an interesting little compartment that they operate the train out of. Just got to watch my speed here, because I'm definitely going to be running the risk of speeding. I don't want to do that, but I obviously want to get up there if I can, get close to where I need to be on the speed. We've got a decent grade here. Alright, so we're yellow, which should be okay. I assume we're not going to have any issue there. Half a mile, we're going to let this coast a bit. I don't need to go too fast. But again, I don't want to start hitting things too hard and then not being able to stop. Or stopping too early and then having to play the game that I was playing before. So, less than a quarter mile. But I think we'll be good. We're rolling in pretty quickly here, although I say that, and now we're playing this game, so once again, like, I should be here in, oh boy, yeah, I need to nurse this along a bit. Now we'll pull this over and stop as quickly as we can, because now we're over. Definitely a challenge. But we were within 25 seconds, so it's not terrible. But it's not terrific. So I think 3 more stops. So definitely getting a little nervous. I was in pretty good shape. And then things started to go downhill. So those long distances and high speeds, it's a little harder to judge. Doors are clear. Okay, Naperville. That is a big, fancy suburb. 4 miles, though. Alright, so we're going to be able to move along here, so I'm going to do that. I'm not going to move up the throttle yet. I don't like that blinking yellow. I don't know if I'm getting close to some other train or what that is supposed to be telling me. Because, I mean, in theory, I'm 30 seconds behind. Alright, I am going to juice this up and get going. And if I get some sort of signal error, I guess it's because I am unclear what I'm seeing, but as long as it's not red, should be able to go. I just obviously need to be careful. But I need to make up some time here, so I definitely want to be up there. Alright, let me see if I can... Alright, so all of that speeds me up. Any throttle moves me along. So you can see I'm kind of cranking up there. Alright, we're getting a little bit closer. So 68.3, 0.2. Alright, if I go up here, will that keep me moving? Alright, it's yellow, but it's not blinking yellow, so I assume that's better. Seems to be something that I'm seeing, but that just may be the next signal. Now the question is, am I going to have some kind of a downhill at some point? And is that going to be my problem? Because Chicago isn't entirely flat. Like, sometimes you will run into situations. So, alright. I think we're green. I think the red is the switch track. It better be. Or, no, that's me. What is going on? What does that mean? Did I pass a signal that I shouldn't have? Like, oh, I don't like that. I do not like the blinking red. I don't understand what I was looking at there. Because, yeah, now I'm losing time. But it looked like I needed to stop, and I lost a point for the emergency brake setting, because I went all the way up. So yeah, at this point we should be there in 15 seconds, but that's not going to happen. The good news is, in theory, I'm only 20 seconds behind, but now supposed to have been there. I don't understand. Like, this clearly is a signal that looks like it's telling me that I should be stopping, or stopped, or not enter this block. I did. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave this out there for folks, because if you're trying this scenario, now you know. So the thing is, like, obviously if I stop, and I have to stop like that, so I'm assuming the blinking red is telling me that there is a solid red up ahead, and that I need to pay attention to that, obviously. So I will try this scenario again. I will do that, and I'll post, hopefully, the completed scenario. I'm hoping I do well with it, because there's no way we're going to be on time if we stop. But I also understand, like, obviously you don't want trains running into each other and so forth, but this now starts to explain a little bit maybe of what the challenge is, but perhaps in the scenario they change the points for the timeliness and so forth, and then, like, you get an official delay, and maybe they adjust the timetable and say, oh, the train's held up for snow, or a car stuck on the track or something, and you are now going to be delayed, but you'll still be on time. So if you've enjoyed my attempt at this, man, I only lost 1 point so far, but I don't get any points because it just killed me off. Please consider dropping a like for the video, and if you've not subscribed, please consider doing that. I know I don't do a lot of train simulator content simply because I've really had no one comment. I mean, it's been very, very sparse, so it's been one of those things that I backed off a little bit on, but I felt like, yeah, I haven't played it in a while, and felt like it was a good day to do it. So if you are looking for this type of content, absolutely drop a comment down below so that I do know that there are people that are interested, especially if you are a subscriber, and that this is your main reason to subscribe to the channel. I'd hate to see you leave because you're not getting train simulator content, and that's what you were here for. Because I certainly enjoy this sim and would be happy to provide more content. I'm just trying to provide what gets the most views and what people seem to be the most interested in. But with that, I will see you next time.